A new energy power plant with a 4 billion kilowatt-hour yearly output has been constructed in China's desert. This power plant not only resolves China's electricity deficit issue, but also helps to control desert greening by enabling plants like rice to flourish in arid regions. This project is now the most giant solar panel power plant in the world after gaining the Guinness World Records certification. So how did China manage to construct solar power plants in the desert? In this video, we'll look for the answer to this as we'll discuss their insane new $430 million megaproject that produces free electricity. Several nations throughout the globe have experienced a scarcity of electricity in recent years. As an example, power has this year become a luxury in Europe. Throughout the Russia-Ukraine crisis, the EU has often placed sanctions on Russia with the United States, raising the cost of energy in Europe. Particularly dire conditions exist as power is in limited supply in France and Germany. According to the International Energy Agency, this winter will be extremely challenging for all Europeans due to the steep increase in natural gas prices. Europeans should only import a few cheap electric blankets from China beforehand to prepare for the chilly winter. The whole European continent is surprised when they learn that China does not need to purchase pricey natural gas, but instead depends on solar energy to meet its electrical demands and only pays $0.08 per kilowatt-hour of electricity. In actuality, France, rather than China, is where the idea of solar energy generating first emerged. The French architect's 1968 structure employed a mirror to reflect sunlight onto the mirror and collect it. At the time, scientists working on the solar energy complex believed it was more of a project to study the sun than a project to generate inexpensive power, although the temperature may exceed 3,500 degrees Celsius. Despite having 1.4 billion people, China won't experience power shortages like Europe, and they are now planning for the issue of green power supply in the future. China's usage of power is continuously rising as more modern devices become commonplace. Even though China, where the manufacturing industry is developed, already has the Three Gorges Dam's annual power supply of 80 to 100 billion kilowatt-hours and the project of north-south water diversion from west to east, the power supply in some areas is still very high during the hot summer months. The grass might now be cultivated under solar panels that are 2 meters high, while in the past there was no vegetation in the desert. As a result, shepherds who live close to the desert can cultivate rice, breed cattle, and tend to their flock of sheep. This makes it possible to reduce poverty, have a fulfilling life, and address the issue of pollution caused by energy. China now uses thermal power, hydropower, wind power, nuclear power, and solar power as its primary means of producing energy. With a share of 71.27%, thermal power production is the most prominent sector. Due to pollution, coal is one of the members and will eventually have an impact on human health. Solar power is a clean, green energy source that China wants to use in its power system to create an 80% zero carbon emissions by 2035. It's a clean energy that satisfies the criteria for green and low carbon transformation since it doesn't burn coal, which prevents the production of greenhouse gases. China places a high value on the role that wind and solar energy play in providing electricity. Since this power plant started producing electricity, it's produced more than 4 billion kilowatt-hours of energy, saving at least 135 tons of coal. Today, even at night, individuals may get energy thanks to solar power generation. Large amounts of power will be produced if the base is established successfully, and that they may be securely transferred to far-off Beijing, Shanghai, and other major cities with high electricity consumption. Locals no longer have to worry about high electricity costs or power outages because of solar energy, which has brought them considerable ease. However, it is smaller than the solar power plant in the Sahara Desert. China has adequate photovoltaic solar power producing capacity to meet all of its energy demands. To attain low carbon emissions and create a greener planet, China now has the ambition of making solar energy one of its future energy development objectives. In addition, they also intend to use solar energy to effectively combat desertification, turning all of China's deserts into productive agriculture. If China's plan is successful, not only will people no longer have to worry about electricity shortages, but the ecology on Earth will also improve. What are your thoughts on this? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And remember to subscribe if you like the video. Turn on the notification bell to follow our activities. We'll see you in our next video. Until then,